Good morning, fourth graders. We are ready to review for the test of Unit 5. So here I am on page 203 of my math book. Please follow along in your math book if you've got it handy. Number 1, a photograph is 8 centimeters wide. After Carrie enlarges the photograph, it is 3 times as wide as the original. How wide is the new photograph in millimeters? Okay, so remember the best thing to do here is see if you can do the math first, like the basic math, before you do any conversions. So let's look here. We have a photograph that's 8 centimeters wide, and she enlarges it 3 times as wide, to 3 times as wide. So that clue word there, times, is going to tell us that we should multiply. Very good. So 3 times 8 equals 24. Now, remember, we're still in centimeters, and the question asks us how many millimeters. A really handy way to do this is to make sure that you are putting rectangles around the units, because when you do that, you are making sure you identify where you're at and where you're going. So I have my pink chart here that I like to use. Remember that you can use the chart also in your book. You just go back a few pages to page, let's see, for length it's on page 179, but you can use the other charts too. You can also use anything else that you have found that is helpful during your conversions, anything else you may have printed or have at home. Okay, so I know that I am going from centimeters to millimeters. So I want to start with my finger on centi, and then I want to look before I leap, remember. So I see that I'm going to milli. How many hops is that going to be? 1 hop. So remember, 1 hop means 1 0. So I'm taking that number 24 and I'm adding 1 0. I'm saying the word adding. I might just want to say I'm writing another 0 at the end because I'm not adding 0 to it. You know what I mean? I'm actually multiplying it by what? What do we multiply by every time we move to the right on this chart? Every time we move to the right, we multiply the numbers by 10. And remember, that means we're getting into smaller units, but bigger numbers, which is always a bit tricky in my opinion. Something to make sure that you think about a lot. Okay, number 2, describe the relationship between these units of time: hours, minutes, and seconds. So something you could write here would just be a complete sentence saying something like, there are 60 minutes in 1 hour and 60 seconds in 1 minute. I'm sure that that would be sufficient. On your clever assignment today, on your math expressions assignment, they'll probably have some drop-down arrows to describe those relationships. Here we have a table. Again, we are converting, so we're going from meters to centimeters. There's a huge hint, obviously, on this table, so you're probably going to treat it like a pattern, right? 3 to 300. You can probably fill in the rest. But just a reminder that we can also use our chart. We're going from meters to centimeters. So how many hops is that? 1, 2. Remember, we don't count on the one we're on. A lot of you have asked that. It's just we count when we hop. 1, 2. Okay, so that means 2 zeros, right? After each meter. And remember, that is technically multiplying by 10 2 times. Or if you multiply by 10 twice, what is 10 times 10? That's 100, right? So you're technically multiplying each of these numbers by 100. 2 times 100 is 200. And 4 times 100 is 400. So there's lots of different ways you can think about that. Try to choose which one works best for your brain. Number 4, what is the area of the rectangle? Okay, so remember, area is all about the little squares that make up the inside. I'm obviously not going to draw this all in completely, but you can always picture that. Even sketch it in really quick if you want to when you're doing these kinds of problems. So area is all about squares. How many squares fit inside something? In order to find that, remember that the formula for area is width times length. Actually, that would be length times width. So 17 times 5. And obviously you would need to work that out. You would use some scrap paper for that, and you would come up with the answer of 85 square meters. It's really important that you always write square meters or you can write 85 meters squared. You can abbreviate it. You can put that little 2 up there, which basically means it's a 2D shape because squares have 2 dimensions, length and width, so that's why we have that 2 there. Number 5, classify the conversion below as using times 10, times 100, or times 1,000. So basically we're seeing how many hops. If it goes in here, it's 1 0, 1 hop, 2 hops, 3 hops. Okay, so let's check this out. Kilograms to grams. Okay, so kilo, that's my king, right? Kilo to grams. Grams is my base or my unit. Different charts have different things there, but there is gram. So how many hops? 1, 2, 3. 3 hops means times a number with 3 zeros. Which of these numbers have 3 zeros? Aha, times 1,000. So we'll just put A there. That's how we'll show that. I don't know if it'll be a dragging situation in your math expressions, I'm not quite sure, but A goes there. Okay, what about B? Meters to centimeters. I've done this one so much, I think I had it memorized by now. Meters to centimeters. Do you have that memorized? How many centimeters are in 1 meter? 100. Okay, so times 100, B would go in there. C, deciliters to centiliters. I do not have this one memorized. Let's see. Ooh, it's not too tricky though. There's deci, not to be confused with deca over here. Some of us made that mistake a couple weeks ago. It's not deca, we have to be careful. It's deci on this one. So deci to centi, how many hops? 1 hop. Which of these has 1 0 in it? Yeah, remember that's times 10 is really what's going on there, times 10. Okay, D, hectograms to deca. There's the deca. Hecto to deca. Ooh, they're so close together. It's only 1 hop, so it's going to be times 10 again. So we'll put D there. What about liters to milliliters? So I've got my liters, boom, to milliliters. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that's 3 zeros. So that means E is going to go in the times 1,000. I have 1 left. It is F. Deca to deci. Oh, that's fun. It's the 2 confusing ones. So deca to deci. How many hops? 1, 2. 2 hops. That means times 100 because 100 has 2 zeros in it. So that's how I answer that problem. Let's move on to page 204. Write the length and width of the rectangle, then write the perimeter. Please be sure to choose the correct unit and inches or square inches for each answer. So this is where they're going to get picky. You have to write whether it's inches or square inches correctly. Now, we already know that they're asking for perimeter. Do you remember, is that inches or square inches? It's just plain inches, you guys, because it's just a length. When we're talking about perimeter, we're not talking about all those little squares inside. We're just looking at a length, so it's like 1 dimension, right? That's why you don't see squared. It's just a line going in 1 direction. Okay, so my length here is going to be, they've already given it to me, 13, but here is where they'll give you a drop-down arrow, I'm sure, on the online one where you have to put in inches, not square inches. So you do have to know the difference there, that it's just a length, it's just a line, so it's plain inches. Okay, and then the width is 12, again, just inches. And then the perimeter, how would we find the perimeter? Perimeter, remember, you have to add up all the sides. A really, really common mistake on this is that students see these 2 numbers and they just add those 2 up. So they say, okay, 13 plus 12 equals 25. But that would only give us this side and this side. And that's not enough, right? That's only half of the shape. So we have to make sure we use 2 13s and 2 12s. 13 plus 12 plus 13 plus 12 equals 50 inches. And you would have, of course, you would have solved that on scrap paper. Maybe you are solving that on scrap paper. That's awesome. And remember, it's still just plain inches. It's not square inches because it's just a line. We're not talking about squares here. Although we're finding the distance around a square, we're not talking about all those squares inside. Okay. For numbers 7a and 7b, complete the conversion, then choose the operation and complete the equation to show how you found your answer. So we're going from minutes to seconds. So first of all, we have to figure out, we're going to go over here first actually, what do you do to 12 to get to seconds? How many seconds are in 1 minute? 60. Okay, so we know there's our conversion number. So we know that it has to be one of these two, but of course they can't make it that easy for us. Do we want a bigger number or a smaller number if we're moving to seconds? We want a bigger number, right? Because there would be more seconds in a time frame than there would be minutes. So I circle, since we want bigger, we know we need to multiply. You always multiply, remember, to get to a bigger number. 12 times 60 equals 720. 720. And then we just write that answer in here. So you can see that we're actually doing the work. We're showing the steps on the right, and then over here we just record the correct answer. Okay, on this one we're going from hours to days. So again, we just first need to know our conversion number. How many days are in an hour? Wait, what? That's not right? Nope, you're right. How many hours are in a day? See, sometimes you can do that and then your brain is like, oh yeah, duh, of course it's hours in a day. There are 24 hours in a day, so I know that it has to be one of these two. And then I have to decide, do I want a bigger number or a smaller number when I get to days? I want a smaller number, right? Because if I'm talking about the same length of time, it's going to be a way less number for talking about days than it would have been for hours. So that means, do I multiply or divide for a smaller number? I divide, so I do 96 divided by 24, and the answer to that is 4. Okay, down here we have to tell whether the conversion between the metric units is correct. Okay, let's check this out. Divide by 100 to convert kiloliters to deca. All right, you guys, let's check it out. Kilo to deca. Well, it is 2 hops, so it would be 100 something, right? Because there's 2 zeros. But if we're going from kilo to deca, we're going to need to, are we going to need to multiply or divide? Kilo to deca. We are going to need to multiply. So the answer here would be no. My answer key says yes, but I'm almost positive they're wrong there. 100 kilo. Let me just double check. Yeah, we don't divide when we're going this way. We definitely multiply when we're going in this direction. Okay, bad answer key. Okay, 8B. Multiply by 10 to convert milligrams to centigrams. All right, let's check it out. There we have milli. There we have centa. 1 hop, so I know it's 10, right? It's either times 10 or divide by 10 because it's just a number with 1 0. What would it be, you guys, if we're going from milli to centa? I'm going this direction, milli to centa, this direction. So I'm not going to multiply, I am going to divide. So multiply is wrong. They're so tricky. Divide by 1,000 to convert grams to kilograms. Okay, so we've got grams here. Remember, that's just our base unit, grams. And we want to go to, what was it again? Kilograms. So grams to kilograms. 1, 2, 3. 3 hops. Well, I know that the number that has 3 zeros in it is 1,000. So I'm either going to be multiplying by 1,000 or dividing by 1,000. I was going this way, this direction. So going to the left means that I am dividing. So I need to divide by 1,000. Yay! That one is correct. Last, divide by 10 to convert kilometers to hectometers. All right, let's check this out. Kilometer, hecto, kilo, hecto. If I'm going from kilometer to hecto, it's 1 hop. So that means 1 0, so it's 10, right? Is it going to be multiplied by 10 or divide by 10 if we're going this way? Let's check it out. Dun, 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 multiply by 10 if you are going that way. There's that lovely arrow. Let's see. Oh, nope. They said divide by 10. They are wrong. It is multiply by 10. Okay, so today I'm going to give you just this part of the review in math expressions. So it'll be not the whole review, and then we might do the whole review again later in the week. Good luck, everybody. Make sure you keep your charts handy. Remember that there is this also handy chart here in your books that is just as good. There's actually 3 of them, I think. This one here is on page 179. See you later.